Kanika Kapoor, thank you so much for doing this show.
It's my pleasure.
In fact, you started when you were just 11?
I'm a Lucknow girl.
Yeah.
And I was born and brought up and educated in Lucknow, and a Loreto girl. And then I lived in a joint family. I still live in a joint family with my chachas and dadi, pardadi, and in the midst of all that, my Guruji used to come every Sunday to teach my chacha, my father's brother, and so I used to go and sit there, 6 years old. So I started learning music when I was 8 years old from late Pandit Ganesh Prasad Mishra ji from the Banaras Gharana. And I started giving exams at the Bhatkhande Music College, which is quite renowned in our country. And there we go. So I think wherever I am today is because my Guruji pushed me and actually worked so hard with me. My dad contacted his childhood friend, Mr. Anup Jalota, who's very close to our family, and said that he would want him to help me and sort of
mentor you,
and teach me how things happen and what's the next step. And I think I was so fortunate because Anup uncle would actually take me to a lot of his concerts around from the villages where they had 100,000 people throwing chairs when we were singing. So I would do the middle set. So gradually over 3-4 years of doing that, it gave me a lot of, confidence to learn what stage means, because singing and learning and actually performing are two completely different things. So I was 17 and 18 when I moved and I shifted to the UK and to London. Many years later, I would say 13 years later, I was separated and I was not going through the best time in my life. And my father said, "Why don't you start singing?"
And you had 3 children at the time as well.
I had 3 children.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? What do you mean? I mean, how? I'm living in London. There, I don't know anybody in the music industry. I have no confidence."
Yeah.
I think I'm extremely lucky and fortunate to have a very, very loving and
progressive father.
Very, very
supportive family.
My brother, my parents, my friends, my children, everybody. My guru. So they all said that, no, you must, because you have it in you. I just found a producer in England, and I remixed a beautiful Sufi old song, and he did a great job with the song, and we did a small, low budget green screen video and just posted it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
But Kanika, you are a YouTube sensation now. As much as you are a singer and a performer, you are a social media star.
I don't know if it's social media or I was just myself, and
Baby Doll
was
the defining moment for you, launch.
I think Jugni was the first song that actually we never released that song even till today. Because of that, I one day got a call from Bombay saying, "Hi, are you Kanika Kapoor?" I said, "Yes." "Are you the singer or the model of Jugni?" And I said, "Both." And so they said, we are calling from Balaji Films, from Ekta Kapoor's office, and she'd like to use your voice in a song for a movie, but it's a very low budget movie. So I came to Bombay, stayed with a friend for 4 days, and knew nobody. 2014 Feb, the song came out when I was in London, and I really never thought that this song's going to change my life and give me a new life, I think.
Yeah.
So
this song exploded, and it also brought about a new genre of music.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's very urban, yet Punjabi, yet a cutting beat, yet.
Yes. Even say a Badshah, people don't really know the extent to which this music has exploded across the world. Yeah. It did start with Baby Doll. Yeah. Let's say your top 3 collaborations.
One of the most exciting collaborations was with Amit Trivedi in a movie called Urta Punjab.
Yeah. That was a
And
beautiful song.
it was called Dada Dasse.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that I had a call from his studio, and his manager called and said he'd like to meet you. And I was like, I stopped breathing because, for me, it was a very big deal. I mean, same time, I worked with Pritam Da, which is a dream for any musical artist. I absolutely love Meet Brothers because I feel that anything we've ever done together has created magic beyond.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
and yeah, I think these are like some very, very close collaborations, which I'm very thankful and grateful for, because these are for life, and the songs have done really well.
And what's amazing is that you're as much a singer for these movies and behind the scenes, but you're equally a presence on stage, performances, shows, your own sort of social media presence, and a sensation in that right as well. And there aren't many artists that have been able to achieve success and fame in their own right.
Some of the artists who are singing the best songs in movies and otherwise, they don't care for social media even now, and they have a great following. I mean, look at Arijit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many followers he has, but I know for sure that he's not very active on social media. He doesn't care, but it's his voice.
Yeah. So did you feel that living in London and having that international exposure, despite being from a smaller town like Lucknow, gave you that edge and vision to some extent?
I was very lucky because I grew up in a very, very big joint family. So the root level was very, very strong. And it was a very typical middle class North Indian UP Khatri family, And life was just about family and music and dance and
food
and more food and kachori aloo. And, it was, it was unbelievable. To then, being married at the age of 18 and shifting to London and living in the countryside and not really knowing a soul, life completely took a turn. I did my business management, and life just was different overnight. And I'm glad because I learned so much. My first job was in a South Hall clinic as a receptionist, and I had this little mad girl inside me which was
waiting to
come out. And but then I was sitting in front of the computer from like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then I became a mother. I had 3 kids, one after the other, and I was a very young mother.
And now you found your identity.
Yeah. When I started working and when I started earning for my own living, I think it was very hard for a lot of people to actually believe that actually a girl can get up and rule her life.
Yeah.
When I got divorced, I started working, and things started working for me.
Sure.
And I worked very hard, and hours and weeks of hard work, and meeting people and really going for it.
Of course, you do music for films, and you do performances, but really it's the stage shows for an artist that keep them going financially and personally, right?
Yeah. I have to tell you
Is it
this
in the north
very
or?
interesting story.
Yeah.
So I come to Mumbai in Feb 2014. First show I ever got was the IPL opening in Abu Dhabi, and it was Shah Rukh and Deepika and I remember me and another artist. And I had no idea how to be on stage. I had not been on stage in 20 years. 20 years. Yeah. The last time I was on stage really was either in
Inter-school competition
or with Anoop Jalota ji.
Yeah.
And then I was on stage with the biggest superstars of our country. And I remember I was like shaking. I couldn't believe that I had to go and perform Baby Doll and 2-3 other songs and entertain people. And it had to be live. It was not even miming. So I think it was the most difficult, I think it was the most challenging thing for me. And after that, I remember 6 months later went and went on and did a whole world tour with these guys.
Yeah.
So we did the US, shows in US, Canada, and ended in UK at the O2. And I remember being in O2 in front of 20,000 people. And that moment turned my life around because I thought, this is it. I mean, and they were screaming for me and they were excited for me. And I couldn't believe that people were so happy and I was entertaining these people.
So you had
It was a new life.
arrived.
They give me goosebumps.
Officially, you had arrived.
I felt that God's actually given me a huge opportunity and I need to turn this around and work harder.
And you do how many concerts a month typically?
Too many.
4 to 5?
Minimum 4 to 5 concerts, and there would be, other private concerts for corporates, for weddings, for. I mean, there are a lot of singers who don't like to sing in a sangeet in a wedding. They don't find it the right thing to do, and that's very personal.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm performing on stage, I'm performing on stage.
You're commercial.
And I'm a commercial artist, and I needed to be a commercial artist.
Absolutely.
I needed to earn that money to be able to put in. I'm an independent artist.
Yeah.
So, being an independent artist means you're not signed up with a particular label who invests in you.
Yeah.
So I earn and I invest in my own self. But I think the most exciting places to do concerts is you have
a huge NRI following.
Huge. I mean, I remember going to Durban and there was a huge ticketed concert between 7,000 to 8,000 people, solo. And I remember a moment where I do a little a cappella set, People's Choice. And there was a moment where I sang a song and I started crying. And I think everybody in that room was crying. And it had their torches up. And it was like unbelievable. It was like the connect that you have with public. But these people, they left India and they die to see good Bollywood artists and live performances and people talking to them, because they want that connect to go back to, So I think India also has a huge market. We perform a lot over here, but I think it's a bit of both.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're also now a judge for The Voice in India.
We finished the first season. Let's see what happens next year.
But that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
The Voice is a very big show internationally.
It was. It taught us a lot, and let's see. I hope that I get back on TV again, and I loved it. I loved it.
I just love the fact that you love what you do so dearly. It's fantastic. It's very inspiring. You also sang the national anthem in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi,
actually.
right?
Mr. Modi was. I'm a British Asian ambassador. There was a whole show that was curated at the Wembley, and I think there were more than 50,000 people there. And I sang the national anthem with both the prime ministers. It was David Cameron and Mr. Narendra Modi. And it was live, it was with a symphony, it was unbelievable.
What is the thing that you would say you're the proudest of?
The most proud thing if I think about what I'm most proud about, is the fact that I've somehow been able to bring up 3 gorgeous children in the midst of all this. It was like there were so many emotions, there were so many ups and downs, and I think today when I see my children and when we are together and they are happy and they're not affected, I feel that was my biggest gift from God, that I was able to actually do both. It was a huge struggle because
you travel back and forth, right?
They live in London, I live here.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly on a plane, and even if I get 2 days off, I'll go to London. I'm landing early morning at 7 o'clock, going home, going to school for the sports day or going for a parent-teacher meeting and making it look like as if it's just I've been here. You know?
Typically describe to me, you were talking about earlier when you go to the US, what happens? That you land and then there's a press conference, there's a meet and greet.
A lot of our concerts, when they're out of India and they're like a one-off concert, I would say, for example, a few weeks ago we went to New York. and we landed in the afternoon. We go for a sound check. We come back, we do hair and makeup, there's a press con, we get ready for the concert, warm up, and do a concert for almost 2 hours. We're there. Then there's a meet and greet and pictures with fans and people who've paid for that, and they come and see us. And that's it. It takes 2 hours to come down to earth because you've been at it for
Elevated
like
and yeah.
2 hours. You're like at it, and you're singing, and you're screaming, and you're loving, and you're hugging, and you're all over. You have to be out there to actually entertain, and have your dinner, and then literally take the next flight back, which is 15, 16 hours back to Bombay. And there are times where you do that a couple of times in a month.
Wow.
And you're a zombie because you land here and you have something else to do. So while I was doing The Voice, it was very hard because many times it just happened that 3 times I had to go to the US, to Miami, and for like 10 hours. And we would go do this and come back and land in the morning and go straight to the film city and on the sets, and shooting for like 20 hours, shooting for 17 hours, it was nonstop,
What better note to end the interview on? But as I said, you're not getting away without a song.
Oh.
And not Baby Doll.
Not Baby Doll ones.
Something a little more profound?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. रात दी गल सुनियो सुनियो वे, रात दी गल सुनियो सुनियो वे, कोई ना चार चुफेरे, पिछे ना मुड़ियो मुड़ियो वे, पिछे ना मुड़ियो मुड़ियो वे, राता दे कारे कारे चेहरे, डर डाडा डसे वे, और मंजिल हसे वे, डर डाडा डसे वे, डर डाडा डसे वे, और मंजिल हसे वे, हाय।